Okay, look, I promise I will not talk about restore passenger rail. I'm not allowed to. I will, however, talk about transport. How did we get here? We were all born, of course, but how did we get here? Now, you probably know that transport makes up 42% of New Zealand's CO2 emissions. How did that happen? Well, in 1990, we had 90% less transport emissions. So between 1990 and 2018, that's 5 years ago, transport emissions have grown by 90%. And I can tell you that in that time, 15% of that increase was between 2011 and 2018. So who knows now how much it's gone up. And how did that happen? Well, I'll give you a few guesses. Might have been something to do with denationalisation, might have been something to do with recent imports of SUVs that they couldn't sell anywhere else, so they sold them here, to idiots probably, and people who thought a big car would be so much nicer, so many more emissions, so much more space for children to fight in. Great. And of course, let's put double loads on the lorries. Well, that should muck up our highways. The money that goes into highways is absolutely stupendous. We know Transmission Gully, it didn't cost 1.6 billion. It cost more. And why did it cost more? Because the road kept failing and they had to keep fixing it. And what's more, the double load lorries have given us bridges collapsing because it's too heavy, because they didn't expect to have that much weight on them. So these are just a few things about transport that I thought you might like to know. And you might be wondering, well, what should we do? Well, I think I'm going to leave that up to you. And I'm not going to talk about restore passenger rail because I'm not allowed to, but I could talk about save our trains, or an organisation that's put a big petition into the government. I could talk about the 1,200 people who put submissions into Parliament last year on something to do with trains. And I could talk about the Free Fares campaign. I could talk about bringing back local transport under public control so that they paid the drivers decently and didn't give them split shifts. I could talk about Metropolitan Rail, Metlink, putting a bit more money into the trains so that 2 months of the year we don't have a failed service because people have to work during the day because they won't pay them night rates like they do everywhere else in the world. There are a whole lot of things we could be doing, and we have to make a fuss if we're going to get those things done and bring down that 47% CO2 emissions due to transport. Thank you.